What's up, guys? Good night. Good night.
Hey guys,
Hello. Good night.
can y'all hear us out there?
How you guys doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We missed you guys. Welcome back to another Love Talks with the Garcon. Another edition. Another Wednesday night. Our model is becoming slowly. We broadcast on Wednesdays, or we streamcast, or whatever term you want to
We
use.
podcast.
We podcast on Wednesdays. And we thank you guys for always rocking with us. Good evening. Good evening. Those who are here, can you go ahead and say hello in the chat and let us know if you are able to hear us okay?
And
also,
where you're watching from, right?
Where you're watching from. We would love to know where you are watching from. Hi, Miranda,
Listen,
of course.
Miranda, we gotta start giving
up,
you
girl?
a
The tuner of the month or something like that.
of the year.
Of the year. How we sounding, Miranda? We sound good? Hello to those of you guys, the others who are also here. Thank you. Thank you. Can you talk back to us? Let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching us from.
We already know we got Jersey in the building.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't rep Jersey. You're from Jersey, Miranda, but you don't rep Jersey.
She don't rep Jersey. There's a difference. Major difference. All right. All right. There's none of you guys want to get started. As you're coming in, guys, please share this live. We have another good one for you guys. And we don't just say that. It's a really great topic. Something we've dealt with also in our relationship. So definitely want to dealing with.
Right?
What up, Pat?
It's a consistent.
The block. The daughter of the King was Law. Wow.
Brooklyn is in the house. Hey, Rose.
Come on in, guys, and share the live. Share the live with at least
5 people.
And multiply that by 3. So
carry the 1.
Yeah. So share with a couple people before we get started. Thank you. Which I'm following my own rules.
Yeah, my phone is out of commission, y'all.
It's sharing right now as we go along.
If you tried to call me today or text me today and I didn't respond, I really didn't have access to my phone. Other times I just be busy, but
that's what people usually say when they don't want to talk to people.
I really had I don't know what's going on with my phone. But anyway.
What's going on Instagram?
We got Canada in the house. G-Matic
is back. See, now Gito's starting to talk. What's up, Gito? On Instagram, we have Fanfan. We have the Healing Chef. Thank you guys for pulling up. We have Miss Rosita. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you guys are having a good week. If you're here and this is your first time, we ask that you guys do a couple of things for us. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to all of our pages. And we actually made it very easy for you guys to do so. So all you got to really do is to take a screenshot of this QR code, and it will bring you to all of our pages where you can go ahead and follow us.
Period. Don't say it. That's mine. No, that's me.
But can guys say that?
You can, but
sounds so soft.
You probably shouldn't.
All right. So make sure you share it. Take a screenshot of this so you could follow us on all of our social media platforms. It's been a week. It has been a week.
We missed you guys last week, actually.
Yeah.
I was out of commission. I was down for the count. But thank you to all those who sent well wishes. I felt them.
Yeah.
And they helped me come back to life. So thanks again, guys.
Sis was down for the count for a good, how long was it, boo?
It was literally a week.
Yeah, she was down for the count. Yeah, but she's back now. She's feeling better. Okay.
Oh my God, I'm trying not
to
yawn
on the camera,
it's my
bro.
third time. Sorry, guys.
What are you trying to tell our people?
Today's been a long day.
Why are you trying to tell our people?
All right, guys. Should we get into this topic for tonight?
I think we can. Give me 1 second. Just one more share, but we tell them about yourself. Who are you, Ann?
Who am I? They know who I am. Let me just kind of open up with the reason why I felt like this would be a good topic. You guys already know I'm into reality shows, reality TV.
Yeah, whack.
And this time I was watching Married at First Sight, and there was a couple who was dealing with this issue of independence in marriage, and he was just a little nervous about staying married to her and actually having to be married and like losing who he is. Thank you so much, Miranda. And losing who he is in the process. And so um as he was sharing, I think Pastor Cal was saying something about like there is independence in marriage, but the level of independence it looks different, right? How it looks different, it's not the same.
Okay.
And that clicked. I was like, yeah, that is so true. Like we still have our levels of independence, but the way I was independent when I was out in these streets is not the way I was never in these streets. The way I was independent when I wasn't married is not the way that independence works anymore, And I find that a lot of people, they get into marriage and they want to maintain that single type of independence. And it's like, now can that work in a marriage? Can that single way of being independent coexist in a marriage
or exist at all?
Right? And so I just started to think of us and like how we've kind of gone through the different stages of independence in our marriage, but it didn't really hurt us because we were still respectful of it. Didn't hurt us it didn't hurt us. It doesn't hurt us now. Probably in the beginning it took some time to get adjusted, and kind of see that, okay, this is really not just about me anymore. I have someone to consider. I have someone to
answer to.
Okay, answer to. You ain't my daddy, right? But because it's really not just about me anymore. And so yeah, so that's where the idea for this topic came up. So independence in marriage. Now, during the early stages of our relationship, it was a little I have to admit it was a little tough. Because you go from making your own decisions, doing things the way you want to do them, because that was your life. That was your life, right? You don't automatically, get married and the switch is turned on, right? Where it's like, okay, I have to completely do things this way now. It's a learning process, right? And I find that the way you learn is through trial and error. Like we had to go through me wanting to do things my way for you to be like, okay, well, that's not going to work for us. That's not going to work for me. For me to know, okay, yeah, I can't do this. Because what if there was something that I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry. Because what if there was something.
No, I'm letting you go.
Because like, what if there was something that I did do that I kind of carried in to our marriage that I did in my independent stage that really didn't bother you? Right? Then you really wouldn't find anything wrong with it. Then I would be able to kind of continue in that. But in me being who I am and just kind of not really kind of trying to be someone else, in me just being me, your responses helped me to discover what I had to kind of change.
I'm sitting here with my hands on my chin, trying to look very philosophical. Now I'm really trying to think back for me what that process was like. And I don't know if it's because as a man, it's probably a little bit easier, quote unquote, to make that transition because you're supposed to be like the head of the house. So it's almost like you're making decisions anyway, or whatever the case may be. But in the context of independence, it could mean so many different things. But as I'm sitting here thinking how seamless it was, or how much effort had to go into it, I really cannot recall that transitional period, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are just coming in, the topic for tonight is independence in a marriage. Does it Does that still exist,
Mhm.
right? And so that's what we're talking about tonight. Share the live as you're coming in. We're just gonna keep reminding you to do that. Share the live as you're coming in. So for me, it's weird because one of the things I still regret regret not being able to have had was or
Having your own
is
place.
have my own place. So I went from basically living with my mama, living with other people transitionally, got married, living with her family, her parents, and then living with her. So I never got a chance to really be independent in the context of having my own place, not having to entertain anybody, not having to compromise, right? And so it's a weird thing for me to think about when did that happen, when the thought process came to mind where, oh my God, I'm going from being independent to being in this unit.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily you being independent, like living on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Independence even in your decision making, in being independent in how you roll. You know what I'm saying? Like I can remember back to in his independence, Irvis was a homebody where he really
Still
didn't
have it.
have, but it had like you didn't like people.
Still don't.
No, no, no. He really didn't like people. Like to the point where he would be so let's say okay, so when we first got married, I we moved in with my parents. They had a room for us because we were saving just to buy a house. We ended up living with them
Two,
for
3 years.
2 3 years, and was able to after 3 years buy our house, right? Now him being the person that he was, his independence caused him to kind of hibernate all the time, you know? And so it would come off as rude, or um kind of cocky, like
Yeah,
I'm too good. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I
you know,
was.
it was a little people they didn't really accept it so well.
Yeah.
Like they didn't take it so well. They didn't say it to him, but I would hear the brunt of it, right? Like, why is he always in a room? Or, you know, but that was what he did in his independent stage. Now that it's in now that he's come into a family that is completely open,
Yeah.
right? And welcoming and loving, and that didn't work. It didn't work for me.
And you know what's crazy though? People had that perception, but not knowing the reason why I did it was coming from a place of trauma.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so interesting because it's coming from a place of trauma. Because even before all of that happened, I got married. Me and my mom, we moved a lot. We were broke, right? We were broke. So a lot of time we were subletting a room from people from the church. And these people were supposed to be nice people. And next thing you know, after 2 months of living with them, you realize they're not really that nice, or they're ready to put you out. So I used to be stuck in my room. The room that my mom and I rented, sublet it, that's where I was. So when I'm here living with Anne and her parents, it's none of the above of what you just mentioned, but everything to do with my trauma, what I'm used to. Mbavle sumun. There's no way to translate that in English. In English, I don't want to be on people. It don't sound as good, it doesn't hit the same. But mpasumun, right? And so that's where I was coming from. And that topic of independence, it's a very, very interesting topic. It's actually something that scares single people to get married because,
Because
like,
they're like,
okay,
I don't want nobody to change
I don't
me.
want to, yeah.
I want to be like, and I don't think it's.
And wait, Stephanie on Instagram wrote just that. Like, great topic, especially for a single like myself who is independent and still wanting to get married.
Mm,
How do I give up my independence when I'm in a marriage? Do I lose myself? Do I lose who I am? Uh, my interests, my likes, my dislikes. How
yeah.
much of that stuff do I have to give up for the sake of the we? Right? There's so much me all of my life. Now it's becoming a we, and how do I navigate that?
Yeah.
So that's very, very, very understandable.
But I think you did really well in navigating that. I
Mhm.
think you still stayed true to who you were, but you adjusted a bit to be a little bit more present,
Mhm.
because he knew that's something that I needed, not necessarily needed, but like it's something that I wanted. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to have like a comfortable time there, and not have any friction, and so, he really bent well to yeah, to cater to those needs.
Yeah, how cool is this? We have Emanuela on YouTube and we have her husband on Instagram, right? And they both. Do y'all know y'all watching on different platforms? Uh, um, yeah, bro. He said, "I did not know this about you, Irv." Which part? I said a lot. Sometimes I don't even remember what I'm saying.
Maybe the trauma
The
part.
trauma part. Let me
Yeah.
know, bro.
Homeboy he got a book in him, y'all. He got a
Yeah,
book in
yeah,
him.
yeah. For
A
real.
nice memoir. Um but yeah, so I really appreciated that you didn't give me any pushback.
Yeah.
Like, you were very open to kind of changing, um to I guess to cater.
Yeah.
But that's just one example
That's one
of
example.
of the independence. So when I first got married, I was very, um I would say I was very not opinionated, but I was hmm, in my independence. I was a free person. So
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
in terms of like, you know when I would go out, I would stay out, I would linger, I would hang out, but this is, around my friends and stuff like that. And so now when Irvis comes on the scene, he doesn't want to linger, he doesn't want to just hang, he wants to just go. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I do,
Again, that's dealing with my own trauma, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with my own trauma and not liking to be around people. It's so interesting. People would see me. There's a couple perception that people could have of me. When they first see me, they think I'm a mean person. I can't help this,
Cause your
guys.
face, bro,
I can't help it. I was born. I'll show you guys a baby picture. This thing here,
they call it the mean.
the mean. I was
It makes him
born
look
with it.
mean.
Yo, my only only have one baby picture in my life, y'all. I was born in Haiti, so I don't have the luxury of what you guys had here in America. I have one baby picture when I was 3 months old, and this here is the same thing. So people think I'm mean, and then they get to know me. They like, oh my god, you're such a sweetheart. You're the best. You're an
They
amazing
don't say
person,
that, babe. They don't
right?
say all that.
And then the other thing that happens is people think I'm so outgoing because I'm the life of the party. If I'm somewhere, I feel like I have to entertain. That's why I'm not gonna hold you, yo. There's some people that call in and I up to go out. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't want to because I don't know how much work.
If you're watching, he's not talking about you.
I don't know how
Okay.
much work I will have to put in for this double date, triple date, or this connect to work because I'm always feel like I have to be the life of the party. That's another experience. But then again, deep down inside, I like isolation.
Mhm.
I don't think people will ever know that about me. I like to be isolated. Uh, Dang, I don't know if I should say this. Some people will come to the house, I will hide in the room because it's not that person, it's not the individual. I just really like isolation,
Yeah.
right? As crazy as it
I
sounds.
used to take it away at the beginning. I used to take it away. But of course, in conversation, in our, little vulnerable moments, I learned that about him, that, it all stems, like we said, it all stems from that trauma that he had growing up. And being cognizant of that, I didn't give him a big, a heart. I would still say, babe, but you still gotta try. Like, because I honestly feel, listen, babe, I feel that we can't allow our trauma to dictate our future. Like we have the choice to um to break out of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't always use it as an excuse for why we are the way that we are. Like
You know what's so funny though? It's like there was a time I would not use the word trauma to talk about my experience because I feel like I'm robbing the term of its.
but that's what it
Yeah, that's what
is.
it is.
That's what it
There's
is.
levels to it. There's
Yeah.
levels to it, right?
What did
And
Diary of a
so
Dude say?
you say I think people think marriage is a magic wand. You're building a marriage, so a brick goes up the wall of singleness, and and all you were comes down. It takes time to be able to rely on another person. Absolutely.
It
Uh,
does.
Gito has it said earlier on the Facebook on YouTube. Independence. I can't see.
Independence in a marriage is a good thing. Less work for spouses, especially for the women. What are you
I don't
saying?
know what.
Me, maybe because like I got to depend on you for everything,
Yeah.
right? And that's I love to depend on Irvins for certain things. Sometimes I think I over depend on you,
Mhm.
because you've made yourself so dependable, you know. Um,
Gateu.
and
Say it.
I
Gateu.
and
Gateu.
so I will, sometimes I am lax in certain areas because I know that I can depend on him.
Mhm.
So I have lost a sense of independence in being, you know what, I never really had that independence, babe, in being responsible for myself. You know what
Yo.
I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I took it from putting it on
Yo,
my parents
Ann's
to
bills were paid by her mom. She had bills that she never paid. Now I paid the bill. So it's like I don't even think. I think I pop quiz her the other day. Babe, who
and
are
I know, no, don't do it. Cause
baby?
no, don't do it, babe. Cause I passed the
All
test.
right,
We ain't
no,
gotta
let's
do
see.
it. I
Pop
passed it in
quiz.
private.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna pop quiz.
No, don't make me look like I'm stupid. So anyway,
Yo,
in my
Facebook.
independent stage, meaning I wasn't married, I relied heavily on my parents. Like they, I depended on them for certain things, and I just kind of took those dependencies, and
And put
put
it
it
right on me.
on my husband.
Yeah,
But that's kind of like what you're here for, you
I'll
know.
take it.
But now, in terms of like,
That's why I'm depending on you for food.
I
I can
mean,
cook.
we can depend on each other for what we need to
Yeah.
depend on each other for, right? But how do you maintain a level of independence in marriage?
You know that's very interesting though. I'm sorry, baby. I'm being psychoanalyzed. Shout out to Instagram. You guys are really psychoanalyzing me, and thank you for creating a safe space. This new woke terms, right?
I love
Thank
it.
you
I
for
love
creating a
it.
safe space for me, guys. Yes, my stoic face, Steph. Tamar St. Pat has the same malady, that permanent mean mug. But my boy Anderson, Diary of a Dude, says the isolation was safety, right? Now thinking about it, I felt safe. Nobody could tell me, "Oh, you're in my space," or This is not your house. So I stayed in my little room, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but he also said that he growing up he did the same thing, but he was at his own parents' house, which is weird. How you know what I'm saying? And so it's very interesting to read. But now, in the context of marriage, independence in marriage.
Yeah.
All right. So for those of us who are watching, especially those of you guys who are watching, the single ones, drum roll please. Do you lose your independence in marriage? You don't. You don't. I like this. I like what Gito wrote as a starting point to the conversation that we are having.
I don't think that we have to change when we get married. We just need to
You
adjust.
just need to
So
adjust.
good.
Very good. Uh,
Just need to adjust.
and also because at the end of the day, the marriage is a union.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you're still an individual who is coming into this union. It doesn't mean that you have to lose who you are, your temperament, your personality.
Unless
Okay, go.
unless the who you are is negative. Right? Unless the parts of you that you really want to kind of heighten
Mhm.
while we're married is really not good for us. It's really negative, some people, like, because honestly, think about it, like in your independence, like it's all about you. All you got to do is think about you. So
Mm,
some people, it really takes time for them to adjust to thinking about somebody else, about including you in my plans. Like, I come into this marriage, and I just I my whole week is already planned
mm,
without even consulting you.
mm,
That level of independence bringing into marriage is going to be detrimental, because what if you wanted to do something, right?
mm.
What if we like, I can't just say, okay, here's my week, and then you try to figure out how you fit
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But Stephanie said a really good point, and we're gonna get to that too on Instagram. She said it becomes interdependence. Yes. So that's the question
Mm.
she's asking. So we have independence, and then there's interdependence, which is actually something that is worth discussing, right? Uh, Emmanuel, yeah, Emanuela said,
Anderson fights with me to depend on him more. Growing up in a single parent home, my mom was the end all be all. So being married, it was a struggle for me to even ask my husband for $1. Thanks for sharing
thanks
that.
for that transparency. I wish
And
I
that's
could.
the thing. I feel
I
like
wish I could just bring people on. There's a way to bring people on. We didn't set it up today.
they're probably not ready.
You're not ready for that. But Emmanuel, you could talk more in the chat about that. Oh, here come Anderson.
No, but I really love that because this is the thing. Like, we just have to remember that people are the way that they are because of something. No one just pops up as the way they are without having not. No, I'm not gonna say no one, like, because some people just crazy, but without having an experience that contributed to that, to making them that way. So it's so good. Like, that's why it's so important to know your person, right? Talk about their past, talk about what they've been through, because they may not see it as something that could have caused trauma. Like, Irvington, like him just kind of moving from, place to place. We wouldn't really think of it. You would just think that, they just didn't have it like that and they just moved and moved. But having that deep dive conversation helped us to realize, oh, well, this is why you're like that. This is why you say those things, or you do these things, or you are just this way. It's because it stemmed from that place.
Yeah. And there are a lot of tears too for my mom, especially. She always felt guilty having to move me. But one thing that she did not want to do is allow anybody to disrespect her child.
Yeah.
At that time, it was just me and her in this country by ourselves. So whenever she feel like the person's switching up, it's like, it's time to go. And
that also kind of dictates how you are even with her now.
Yeah.
Like, because she was always working, they didn't really get to spend much time together, right? So developing that mother-son connection was something that, you lacked, and so that's why I feel like this conversation is kind of stemming away from independence and into like childhood trauma.
But it's connected. The inability of being able to be dependent on someone is connected to your childhood, right? Or the forcefulness, or the standing on business 10 toes down. I'm independent. I don't need you. I don't need you to do anything for me. It's coming from a place too, right? And so that's worth talking about. On Instagram, Kaboom KBV said, in marriage there are consequences to your independence. Yeah, and I would love for you to chime more on that, Kaboom, so it could bring that point home, right? Okay.
You do not lose your independence. You gain insight on how you've lived and how you can now incorporate the needs or desires of your spouse into your plans. At the end of the day, respect is key. Love it. Because now that we are in a relationship, we move from that. I think you said it already. From that me to now the we, right? It's not just about me any longer. It's about you, and how can I include you in a way that you still feel valued.
Yeah, could you believe one of Anne's point of frustration with me is she's always asked, because she see how much I do for her. She'd be asking me, what can I do for you? What can I help you with?
And what's your response?
I'm good. My response
I can't stand that.
My response is, I just push you forward. I just support what you're doing.
So this is like, I was like, what are your dreams? Like, how can I help you with your dreams? My dream is to make sure that your dream, you succeed in your dreams.
Bars.
What are you saying? Bars. Of course it was the sweetest thing, but then I was like, bro, that was the easy way out. No, like, give me more.
I don't know, man. You just realize how much things impact you the older you get. See, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Steph. I don't know if that's the Stephanie Charles we know. There's so many Stephanie Charles. All right. So check this one out. A healthy marriage is one where both individuals love each other enough to support the growth of the other person's individuality.
Mm,
Right? A healthy marriage is one where both individuals love each other enough to support the growth of the other person's individuality. It's very weird. It's a very strange place to be because, especially, let's say you got married young. We got married when I was 25, 24,
I was
and wife
25.
25, so she was rocking the cradle. She's a cougar, right? And so imagine now I'm still growing and learning about myself, becoming who I am to be
Yeah.
as an adult male, and now I am a husband. So I am growing both as an individual, and I'm also growing as a member of a unit.
Mm,
That could be a very interesting space to be,
mm.
right? And I still have my flaws. I still have She still have a lot of her flaws, right? And
I'll let you have that
those
one.
flaws are things that make her who she is, right? And so to navigate that space is very, very, very interesting. So I see some kudos. Tay, what's up, girl? Tay is agreeing with Emanuela in term. I guess I assume in depending on the husband to ask for things, right? But it's marriage. It's marriage. I could imagine if your husbands are the type of people I want to be Mr. Provider in every single meaning of the word, every single meaning of the word. That in itself could be a point of contention, even though the intention is well meaning.
Explain that.
In other words, I want to provide for you. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be your husband. I don't want you to be spending on anything. But here you are. That's a good intention,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's creating contention or issues in the marriage because you're not about that life.
Mm.
I still want to pay my stuff. I still
Yeah.
want to do this. I still want to
I
do
don't want to
that.
pay my stuff. You pay for me, babe. That was easy for me.
You even know how to pay your stuff, sis. Your mama did it, and before now it's
Stop
me.
putting my business in these
It's
streets.
the
But
truth.
anyway,
The truth. The truth shall set you free, boo
yeah.
boo. Right?
No, but like I love that quote that you shared. Like,
Mm.
the in be as individuals, we're helping. But
Yo, somebody said on. Let me read this to you guys on Instagram. Kaboom said, "If my wife tells me that she wants to be independent in our marriage, she can go back to her mother's."
but wait.
All right.
Oh, I think what he's saying is that no, he wants her to be dependent on him
No, I guess I also want to know what is his definition of
of
independence, because
independence.
that term can also be very subjective.
Yeah,
It could be very subjective.
yeah.
Stephanie, I know you are on on Instagram. You're as a single person. What is your fear or concern? All the singles who are here, what are your concern in terms of independence in marriage? So I would love to hear you, and we'll
No,
read
she
it out.
wrote something.
Her comment resonates with me. I'm actually being really intentional now about asking the men in my life for help to retrain my mindset. It's not easy. That's Stephanie on Instagram.
And I think it's
Let me read it again,
especially
babe.
when you've
I'm actually being really intentional now about asking the men in my life for help to retrain my mindset, but it's not easy.
retraining her mindset because I guess you've been single for so long, right? When you're single for so long, you don't need anybody. Like you can do that all by yourself. Like you're a boss woman. Like you really don't need a man. You want one, right? But you don't need one. And so now having to retrain, I love the word that she said, retrain her mind to be like, yeah, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, you can hold my bag. Yeah, you can open the door for me, right? Yeah, if you want to pay the gas. Yeah, you can do that. And it's like being okay with that, especially if the person that you're talking to
Mhm.
is creating that space for you to do that. I don't think it's being I don't think it's taking advantage of the person. I don't think it's being greedy either. I think it's letting letting chivalry come back alive.
Mm.
Like some men really are out here trying to take care of us. Let them do it. Some married women I know act single in marriages.
Yeah.
How?
But I think that's a little bit left field. I think that's more of someone who just want to be outside still. My boy Kevin is on here. Talking to these young people, you start using these terms. They always using that word outside. So wanting to be outside, right?
I use that word. It's not because I'm old.
Yeah,
Like I could still use
you're
that
old.
word.
You're old.
But anyway, I was saying something, baby. You cut me
Yeah, I'm
off.
sorry, boo
I don't remember what I was saying though. Anybody remembers what I was saying before Evans cut me off? That's probably like all the time.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I can't
I'm just reading
remember.
some comments. Sorry about that. If I'm looking away, I'm reading some comments.
It was a quote. Sorry. Can you put that quote back
The
up?
same one, the green one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So it's loving each other enough to support the growth of the other person's individuality, and I feel like some people in a relationship, they can see one person growing so much that it makes them feel a certain way.
Wow.
Like it makes them feel a little intimidated that that person is kind of leveling up higher than them. And I've seen it. I think we've seen it before, where either the wife or well, more so the wife, because since the man is the head, like he should be here, right? He should be, take the quote off. He should be, and I put in quotes, right? Here, and she should be just slightly under, right? But if he sees her in her individuality, kind of surpassing him in a sense, then it would kind of cause him to be a little intimidated.
Yeah.
And so there goes someone who really won't put that much work into helping this person grow in their individuality. When there is any type of envy or jealousy in a relate, why is that even something, right?
Yeah.
That should be another topic for another day.
Mm.
But there's no space for you to even help me grow because you don't want me to grow. So you won't help me grow in my independence. So if you find yourself in that space, you don't have to tell her, right? You just go and you pray about that, right? Or you have that open and honest conversation. Would you have that conversation with me though? Like, would you feel safe enough to have that kind of conversation with me where you're like, babe, you're doing too much.
But
Like, how would that be?
I think that's what helped us. I think one of the formulas that we have in our marriage that's helped us do a lot of different things is we ensure that we create that safe space where we can have a conversation about anything, any topic that's on your mind that we want to discuss. So
but let's just be real. Like having some of those conversations, even though we created that safe space, was still kind of hard.
Yeah.
Any topic that kind of gets you a little antsy to talk about will always come with those feelings. Like it doesn't matter how safe the space has been that has been created, right?
Yeah.
It always comes with a level of, what's that word? Nervousness,
what's the
right?
reaction gonna be?
Yeah.
Because we still have feelings and emotions. So that's just because you're married and you have a safe space doesn't mean that the person's not gonna feel some type of way about it. But then there comes in the second mantra in our marriage, validating feelings, right? So that's
And
another
opinions.
thing. Validating feelings and opinions. So that actually helped to go a long way in that context as well.
Yeah, because my opinion may not be in my individuality. The way I would handle things is not necessarily how Irvin's would handle things, right? And so in our conversations of how we're going to now tackle this, my opinion or my ideas in my individual mind state, right, or mindset is brought together with his.
Yeah.
And now we come together to create one that's going to work for the both of us.
And in terms of what Stephanie mentioned earlier on Instagram, in terms of interdependence, this idea has to do with there's a mutuality independence, right? In our marriage, if you want to use the example of homemaking, I am really good in taking care of paying bills and is really great in maintaining the house. Now, that might sound like a gender role, but it's really not. It's just utilizing each other's strength and depending on each other's strength to make the unit work. Because if N had to pay the bills, our lights would be cut off. Okay? If she had to pay the bills, our lights would be cut off. Right? She think Con Edison is an actual person.
And if you had to feed the family, we would all be
Fat.
mad skinny.
We'll be fatter because all we'll be getting is
fatter,
Chinese.
okay.
We'll be eating Chinese every single day.
Okay.
Right now, when it's my turn to cook on Wednesdays, Oriental Star, that's my guy. Right? So there's an interdependence when it comes to that. Drop some more example of what that might look like. Interdependence, when it comes to emotional things, I rely on N to help me better on how to be more expressive, on how to be more apologetic, right? And I help her on how to stand your ground, right? So there's an interchanging thing that is taking place for the betterment of the unit, that you support, you counter, you complement each other. All right? What the light gonna say? Look, sis, the light will be off. All of this stuff right here, we would have been streaming with bougies.
That is not true, baby. I think for 3 months you just need me to let me take care of it.
She said that all the time, and she's never taken. It's almost 18 years.
Because you keep doing it.
Because I want to see light. I want to be able to see the light, and not have it be cut off, sis.
No, but we can even think about how our individualities have complemented the relationship.
Reggie, Reggie, go to sleep. Bro.
He said,
Irv, how do you help N in the bedroom?
Oh,
God. Why are you here?
You really want me to answer that, Reggie?
Tell him, man.
You really want me to answer that?
Tell him. Tell him, man.
I be going to heaven, all right? Jesus be on my mouth all day. No, wait. No. You know what I mean, but...
Pause.
All right.
We actually a lot of pause tonight.
We do.
Hey, Stephanie Arcazzo, she finally made it. Thank you for joining us. So Stephanie,
she said, "You guys go live at my bedtime. Come on, boo, wake up."
There's 2 Stephanies on Instagram right now talking, and there's a Stephanie on YouTube. Mad Stephanies. Fear unlocked. I think one of my greatest fears is poverty. Who you marry has a lot to do with how fruitful your life can be. So I really want to find someone who's on the same page of quality of life. Yeah.
And all that takes place during the dating phase, like where you're collecting that data, right, about this person and talking, and don't be afraid to talk about their upbringing, and hopefully you're with someone who is not lying, right, or trying to save face to make you feel like life has always been peachy keen for them, right. But that they're actually being vulnerable, or you're creating that space for them to be vulnerable. Of course, not the first date, right? But like maybe the 4th date. Is that too long? I don't know this dating stuff, but maybe like the 3rd or 4th date, having those deep conversations. That was a good one. Thanks for that comment, Stephanie.
Yeah.
But if you think about it also, like, we are made different for a reason, right? God didn't create me like Irvin and I are completely different. We're 2 different people,
and we work.
But I know, right?
That's a weird
our
thing.
Differences really complement one another in such a beautiful way because we make it that way. There's certain things that I could have taken as him trying to stunt who I am. Right? His input and saying, okay, this is how you should do things, or how about this way? I could have taken it as like, bro, don't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? But it actually made me better.
Yeah.
Because I chose to see it in a way that would, because like knowing your person, guys, like I know that he's not out to get me. I know he's not out to hurt me. I know he's not out to make my life a living hell. Like, this man loves me. right?
I do.
Okay. So so knowing that, I
Oh my
know that what
God. You see what he wrote?
what
You see what he wrote?
and nah, I can't say that out loud.
Guys, there are some friends I have in my life that the Lord's been telling me for years I need to cut them off. And Reggie is one of those people. He
He's
asked, "And does he eat the booty like groceries? Do I eat the booty like groceries?" Now, um, y- um, I really think he needs prayer because he has an obsession with that. That's a conversation we have all the time about like, what is your obsession with? You know what, Reggie? Save it. Let's not. It's on Instagram, guys. That's
Thanks for that question, Reggie. I'm actually going to bring it up later off the live. Is there a problem?
You're laughing a little bit too hard about.
But anyway, see, I was cut off again.
It's because of him.
I don't even know what I was saying
It's
anymore.
because of him. It's because of him.
Oh Lord.
That's Reggie.
I don't remember what I was saying, but whatever.
Yeah.
Complimenting one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
We compliment each other.
Don't be okay. So
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Knowing your person, right? Knowing that they want the best for you, right? They want you to succeed. They want to see you do well.
Yeah.
And knowing that if they suggest something or if they ask you to adjust in some spaces, it's not for you to be lesser of who you are. It's just to make our unit a little bit more breathable, healthy.
Again, let's go back to it. It is absolutely okay to be independent in your marriage in terms of who you are, right? So there's different, and it's such a loaded topic. But in terms of interest, doesn't mean that you come to a marriage you stop liking the things you used to like before. You stop having those hobbies you used to have before, right? I think it was said earlier, it's just a matter of how you adjust. But for example, if your liking was to go out every weekend, you're outside every weekend, there's no possible way that could be the same thing in a marriage, right? If your liking was you like to be a homebody like me, I don't want to go anywhere. I have to adjust that because my wife might like to go out, right? But if my hobby is I like R&B music, does that mean once I marry somebody who likes country, I have to listen to country as well? No, right? Just listen to Beyonce because she's doing both right now. She's merging both worlds.
The devil.
She's one of those, y'all. So you don't have to actually change who you are. It's actually very healthy to have a certain level of independence depending on the context of what we're talking about.
And also, like, in what I bring to the table can be something that you end up liking.
Yeah.
That you can end up, adapting
exposing myself to.
Yeah, exposing yourself to. And it becomes part of you. So definitely maintaining that level of independence. Right. Now, let's say in your independence, all you had as a man or as a woman were single friends. How do you now? I mean, not to say that you can't keep them, right? But there's a level of adjustment that needs to be made there as well. Because you now lead a different life.
But I think even in that context, babe, it's healthy for you to have those friends, but also seek people who are on the same path with you.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying to drop them like a bad habit because they're your friends,
right.
But you have to definitely find a new community that's going down the same route as you. Now, what if, because this didn't happen to us, but what if when we got married, I had a male best friend?
You need to cut it.
Do you really think that? In my individuality or in my individual life, it wasn't an issue. We were just cool. We were very close. Grew up together.
But he has a pigeon. He has a pigeon between his legs, right? And vice versa. He has a pigeon, right? No, no. I think the friendship would have to adjust, not end, but adjust. For example, what do best friends do?
They talk all the
Talk all the
time.
time, go out all the
Go out
time.
all the time.
I think your best friend should be understanding and respectful enough to be like, no, I can't be calling in at all time of the night because that's what the friendship was before. We can't be going out every single time. And I think also a big part of it has to do with um, what is the mutuality of the friendship? How
Mm.
mutual is it? Is it somebody that I'm cool with as well versus someone that that I just know casually?
What if he didn't like you?
Then that homeboy gotta go. And that's both for male and females, right? I'm not saying you gotta go because you definitely want to make sure you're listening to wise counsel. So I would never tell somebody to cut somebody off because they don't like me. But what's the reason they don't like me? Right?
Because he wanted me.
Oh, that dude, homie gotta go. Homie gotta go. It might get smacked. Right? And so in that particular example, when it comes to friendship, there has to be an adjustment even there, right?
Mm.
So that's what it is. So keeping your individuality to be independent, it will depend on the context of what we're talking about,
Mm.
right? But it's healthy. It is super healthy to keep your individuality and your independence
Mm.
with a willingness to adjust, right? So Stephanie, I hope I'm not scaring you. It's not that you're retraining your mind, Stephanie. It's Stephanie M
That's
on
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
You know that,
Phoebe,
right?
I know that's Phoebe.
Okay.
I was trying to remember her last name.
Mm.
So because there's like four Stephanies watching right now. So I hope this is helping you because it doesn't mean that even when you're retraining your mind, I think it's a good thing you're willing to make adjustments, but at the same time, doesn't mean that you lose the essence of who you are, right?
Mm.
And even with doing the courting phases is a great time for you, the person, to get to know who you are. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Because these are the things that make you an independent person and individual. We are using individual and independent simultaneously or interchangeably, right? So, and that's how we're referring to it. Because sometimes when people talk about being independent, it's like I get my own car, I got my own this, I got my own that. That's not necessarily what we're talking about. Matter of fact, when you get married, what is yours should become each other's.
Mm.
For some reason, my first car, my first car
They heard you.
Mitsu.
Finish.
I love Mitsu. That's what I called her. My 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer. My first car. I love that car because it was my first car. When I got married, sis wanted to talk about our car.
I mean,
It wasn't our car. It
what
was
happened from the
my car.
what happened to the me to the we?
You know what's interesting now though, when we got our joint car together, which is our truck, it was our car. But when we got her car, it's her car.
Because we've already had ours. So now we can have our own.
So the truck is mine now.
Yeah.
It's no longer ours.
You can have that one.
You see what I'm talking about?
Because I have mine. If I have mine and you have yours, okay. But if we only have one, it's ours, bro.
That's the insanity.
It's ours.
All right. So guys, the time is pressed. We do want to give you guys some tips on this whole idea of being independent, right? How to keep your individuality, which is okay for you to still have in a marriage, and still have a healthy marriage, right? So, let me try to share this with you. How to keep your individuality. I'm trying to see. Sorry, y'all.
What's not good?
Yeah, my car, your car.
Bro, if we got one, it's for both of
Yeah,
us. If
okay.
you got one and I got one, now we have ours.
So here's some tips real quick. How to keep your individuality in a marriage while it's still keeping it healthy, right? Uh Maintaining your individuality within the marriage is essential for personal growth and a strong partnership, right? In other words, you're not becoming who the other person is. There's still value of who you are, what you bring to the table.
Because who you are and all that God created you to be is going to add to that person's life. So
Absolutely.
don't try to be what they want you to be or try to be like them.
Yeah.
That's
Like
boring.
I said, there are things about Anne I do admire. Her
Tell
heart,
them, tell them.
her heart for people.
Hmm.
Sometimes we gotta balance that. Uh, I tell y'all this. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about what she just recently did. How she got by somebody asking for money on a church
Hervins.
stream
Because they needed
because of
it.
her heart. But that has helped me to be a little bit softer as well with other people, right?
Mm.
So maintaining the individuality within the marriage, it helps us to grow both as individuals
And that's a
and
partnership.
also as a partner, as a unit.
We already said communication is everything,
Yeah.
right? Openly discuss your needs, openly discuss your desires, openly discuss your boundaries with your partners, with your partner. Ooh, partners. Establishing clear communication helps ensure that both partners' individual identities are respected. Now, when it says boundaries, like that's a whole different topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Establishing boundaries in a relationship. Like, what does that even look like? We don't have time to even go deep dive into that,
Yeah.
but I think that's something that I really want to revisit. How do
Mm-hmm.
you establish boundaries within a relationship without making the person feel like they're not respected or they're not wanted?
Yeah. And
Um,
a good example is what we said earlier. If you the going out type, the boundary is you cannot be out every single weekend and
mhm.
be outside. You know what I'm saying? You still, and we can communicate what that looks like. How often, what is okay? What is a frequency?
Or the boundaries don't touch me at night. I'm tired when I got a headache.
Yeah,
When you
we gonna talk about that.
pursue your hobbies and interests.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue to engage in activities and pursue interests that are important to you. This allows you to maintain your sense of self and prevents you from becoming solely defined by your relationship.
Why is that important? That's important, y'all, because there's some people who become bitter. They become bitter in marriage and relationship only because they feel like I'm no longer me.
Yeah.
Who is this person that I'm seeing? I can no longer talk to this. I can no longer do this. I can no. This is where we are bringing in control in this term of dependence and interdependence and individuality, right? That's where we are bringing control in this context, right? So if you have hobbies and interests that you wanted to pursue before you got married, still go for it, but have a conversation,
Yeah.
right? Because Ed and I, we're in a season right now where we're having a conversation about what she wants to do with her life moving forward. And it's like I'm independent. This is what I'm gonna do. No, we are talking about that. We are strategizing how we're gonna make it happen, how she's gonna be supported to pursue some of the things that she want to pursue now. Like the other day, she signed up for school as a starting point of future goals, and she's the home she keeps our home. We don't know what to do without Ann. We don't know what to eat. We don't know when to bathe. We don't know when to go to sleep, right? But now Ann is this online sitting in front of this computer 3 times a week. Well, when I don't check her Jupiter to make sure she ain't got no assignments, she might be sitting that in front of that computer for a whole week. But when she first signed up for school, one of the things that I told her was, "Hey, in the family group chat, hey guys, it's not just mommy that's back in school.
You're
We
all in
are all
school.
back in school. I mean, Melody, you have to take care of Bailey sometimes. Owen,
Do the dishes.
just be Owen.
Owen be doing
Owen
dishes.
does dishes, take out the garbage. It means me trying to cook more often. So I'm not gonna have my wife be in a place of bitterness because she gave up all her interests, her hobbies, or all her individuality because of a marriage, right?
Yeah.
So be supportive and be able to pursue those things.
Allocate personal time. Schedule regular time for yourself to recharge
Yeah.
and engage in activities that bring you joy. Whether it's reading, exercising, or spending time with friends, prioritize self care and individual pursuits.
Again, we keep going back to the communication piece, though, right? There has to be consensus what that looks like, frequency, right? Duration, latency. That's what you're learning in school right
Yeah.
now. And so all of those things, that's ways to maintain your individuality and being independent,
Hmm.
but within the context of agreement and conversations.
Yeah. Like I found I have a newfound joy of like doing my nails now consistently.
Because Bailey compliments her.
She's the only one that notices.
There you go.
That's another topic for another day. But and so like that 2 hours away, just being pampered, right? Getting my nails and my feet and my eyebrows done. It just it changes so much
Yeah.
for me. Like I just need that. And not that I don't love my family, right? But I love me. And I need that time.
My personal time is for me. I love it when I come and I go upstairs
Mhm.
and I lay down and I take me a 2 hour nap. Those 2 hour naps for me is the equivalent of her going to get her nails done and get pampered.
Let's talk about
Nope.
that though,
Allocate
because
personal time. We're not going to talk about how long is a nap.
all right.
We've been through that already. Only people who serve the devil think 10 minutes is a good nap.
2 hours is too
Those
much.
of us who
babe,
really
though.
are of the Lord and we believe in the rest that God give us, 2 hours is a great nap.
That's 2 hours wasted. I'm sorry.
Did I say you 2 hours wasted in the nail salon?
But babe, sleeping though?
2 hours wasted in the nail salon?
All right. I'm sorry,
Thank you.
guys.
My nappers, comment. Let me know who you
2
are.
hours is another sleep,
My
bro.
nappers.
You sleep 2 times a day?
Holla at your boy, my nappers.
Okay, let's go. Embrace the differences. Celebrate the unique qualities and differences that each partner brings to the relationship. Embracing diversity enriches the marriage and strengthens the bond between partners. Yeah, like I don't want to be like Irvin's because you do it well. Save that. Did I save it?
What a backhanded compliment.
He does himself well, you know.
Pause.
And I do myself well. Like I can only be me. My little mantra is be you. Well, what is it?
There's nobody else better than you, or something like
That's
that.
not it. I always say
I
it.
know. That's your closing thing for your YouTube
Yeah.
stuff. That's bad because you don't mean
Be
it.
you because
You don't remember it because you
there's
don't mean it.
only one you. So be the best you that you can be. That's what it is, right? Because no one is you. Like the differences that you bring to the table is what creates this beautiful
Thank you,
picture
Gito,
of your
my guy.
marriage. Yeah, a nap is healthy, but how long, Gito?
2 hours.
That's the question. 2 hours is sleep. It's not called nap anymore.
Depending on the time of day.
The Lord Jesus. Yeah, so just be you. Be you in all your confidence, in all your beauty, in all your uniqueness. And support each other's goals. Okay. Encourage and support each other's personal and professional goals. Celebrate individual achievements and provide emotional support during challenging times. Like that's the beauty of partnership. Right? Where you're able to support each other. Like when something good happens, who do I want to come and tell? Homeboy over here. But when we're upset at each other, it makes me mad because I can't talk to you.
Stop getting me mad. It's that simple, bro.
That's another conversation. But anyway, you're triggering a lot of things today. A whole lot.
Yeah, after these live son, we'll be going home.
We'd be sitting here
we'll
like
sitting here talking about
why would you say that? Like Maintain friendships and social connections. Nurture your friendships and maintain social connections outside of the marriage. Spending time with friends and engaging in social activities allows you to maintain a sense of community and fulfillment beyond the relationship.
Again, within the context of conversation
Yeah.
and agreement, guys.
And if your person doesn't like your friends,
They gotta go.
who you choosing?
I think if
Who are you
that's another
choosing?
topic too altogether. But I think also remove it.
Yeah.
But I also feel like even in that particular situation, they have to be able to give you reasons why they have an issue with your friends, right? Because some friends are really bad influences, and they are the one that's able to tell you this person is wild. Lisa is bugging. J Lo is a hoe. Um, Whoever else, the only one that's good with them is Marguerite because she wear long jean skirts to
Why
church.
Margaret?
It just sound like a
Where did
good
they
girl.
get that
Marguerite,
name
who wear the
from?
long jean shirts to church, and she goes to the church trips and get in the pool with the long jean
Marguerite was
skirt.
never a baby because ain't nobody gonna call their baby Marguerite.
Margaret or Magali for the Magali, right? So, guys, that's why we had for you guys tonight and thinking about this particular situation. This whole idea of being independent, dependent, interdependent could be very, very scary, right? It could be very scary because of how these things have been defined traditionally. Power nap, yes, power naps are God.
But
Thank you
then look
very
at
much.
what Phoebe said. A nap is 30 minutes, 2 hours of sleeping. Thank you.
See,
Thank
we
you.
were cool staff up until this point. So guys, again, don't let this idea scare you. A lot of these things are more fluid than we make them look. It's more oh man, what's my term I'm looking for? It's a lot of fluidity. It's not as rigid as you make them seem, right? It goes back to communication, this conversation. Compatibility goes a very long way too.
And being open and honest.
Thank you. 2 hours is a nap.
Oh,
So we have
God.
people
All right.
saying 2 hours is a nap.
Whatever, Miranda.
You guys are anointed. You know the Lord, and He knows you. Amen. Amen. So yeah, y'all. That's all we had for you guys for tonight. Hopefully, it was helpful. We went from the trauma that come with dependence, being dependent or interdependent, or being independent, to finding common ground and normalizing that is actually a good thing. Don't lose who you are. Don't lose your interest. Don't lose your way of thinking, but do all of those things within the confine of communications and compromise. And that's all we had for you.
That's it, y'all. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys rocking with us for these 1 hour and 14 minutes. Thank you again. We will be back next week.
Next week we will have guests in the building.
Special guests in the building.
Guests. Next week's topic is going to be journeying through loss. Oh man, it's going to be a good one. Because sometime when you get married and there's certain loss that come along with it, and I'm not talking about the kind of loss you think about. These people went through some really, really dark moment, and their love and their marriage sustained them, and we'll get a chance to hear
their story
from these wonderful people and their story. So be sure that you are liking the page, that you are following us, that you're subscribing so you don't miss next week. Make sure you are here next week. And also last week, and then the girls, some of the ladies were supposed to be on to talk about. We're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna leave it alone.
Let's talk about.
Yeah. So for on the what is it, 17th?
The 10th. No, the 17th.
The 17th. The ladies will be here. They're gonna be the takeover, the one that was postponed from last week. So we have some really great stuff lined up for you guys for April. And we have some more major announcement to make for you guys as also we go along. But we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. Huh? Oh yeah, we have also a challenge that my wife is coordinating, and I'll let her talk about it before we sign off.
So just one last time, the challenge is supposed to be starting this weekend, but we're actually pushing it to next weekend because I didn't really calculate the dates properly. But we have about 3 couples already invested. If you would like to be number 4 or number 5 or number 6, we welcome you to come and join us on this Biggest Loser challenge. There is a cash prize. Excuse me. There is a cash prize that will be given out to the biggest loser. So we want to thank you for those of you who have already showed a level of interest. You can email us at garsoncollectiveventures@gmail.com.
It's a weight loss challenge.
It's a weight loss challenge. I mean, yeah, it's obvious. Yeah. But listen, summertime is on the way. Okay. I know you guys have plans. Get in on this challenge. It's going to be fun. Healthy competition. No pun intended, right? Healthy competition. And you win some money at the end. So let's go. So you win. Even if you don't lose, you win.
I like that. Or even if you don't win, you lose.
If you don't win, you lose. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Even if you don't win, you lose. All right, y'all. So thank you to those of you who already showed interest once again. And if you are interested, hit us up.
Yeah. Until next time, y'all, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share this with at least 5 people times 3 or 4. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Later. Deuces, y'all. Thank you again.